Hi, I'm Alan McDonald. I'm the Strategic Account Manager for the Public Sector at ComCab London, and I've been looking after Taxicard for the best part of 24 years.
Hi, my name's Andy Rollock. I'm the Mobility Services Manager at London Councils, responsible for Taxicard and Freedom Pass, and I've been with London Councils for 3.5 years.
So yeah, just wanted to have a quick catch up with you, Andy, to kind of have a discussion about how we feel Taxicard is as a service. As you know, ComCab's kind of had the service for all of its life cycle, so that's getting on for, I reckon, 30 odd years now. It's changed over that time, and I just wanted to kind of get your impressions on what you feel like the service is for the customer now and for the drivers now.
Yeah, so I think with Taxicard, it has changed over the years. Although I've been with London Council for 3.5 years, I've been involved with local authority for about 15, mainly working in concessionary travel, of which Taxicard's part. And I think the importance of the scheme is for the customers they serve, in so much as all of our customers are either vulnerable or disabled, and without the service they'd be socially isolated, so they wouldn't be able to move around because their disability means they can't use public transport. So without the Taxicard scheme and ComCab London, virtually people would be housebound and not be able to get out.
I completely agree with you, and I feel that from ComCab's side of it, we are very proud to have been the sole contractor for Taxicard for as long as it's existed. I know our drivers really appreciate being able to provide the service, and quite as you say, because of the service they are providing for people with vulnerable positions and impairments, knowing that they're able to deliver that service and do it to the extent and with the professionalism and the passion that they've got, it really means a lot to them.
Yeah, and I think for drivers, it's probably not so much about the financial gain, it's more around the social aspect, because they're giving people the opportunity to get out.
Yeah.
They're building up that relationship with people, because a lot of drivers build up a relationship with the customer. They normally pick them up quite regularly, and it's having that trust in that driver for a customer, that it's someone they can rely on, someone they know. If they've got a disability whereby they need assistance, that driver knows how to handle them to a certain degree, and providing that little bit of reassurance and a little bit of safety. So I think for a driver coming onto the scheme, it's more, I would say, giving something back to people who really need that help in probably the most vulnerable time of their life. So I think the scheme is more around the social aspect and that relationship than anything else for me.
The actual ability to deliver a service to customers, to give them social kind of interaction in life, to get from A to B, not necessarily on a medical front or on a kind of like a work front, but certainly just to get to shopping centres, to bingo halls, to all the sorts of places that people like to go meet up with their friends, have a coffee if they want to, and use Taxicard as a service and a means to do that. And I think that drivers really do provide an incredible function in delivering that. And I would like to think that over the years it's grown and it's kind of got an appreciation in the industry and from drivers at ComCab that have been with us for many years to have delivered that and to continue delivering it.
Yeah, and I think an important point that probably needs to be made is during the pandemic, when people were locked down, couldn't go out, the Taxicard scheme adapted, in so much as we realised that our customers were very vulnerable, couldn't get out and about, were shielding. So we had to adapt the scheme, so drivers were doing collection and delivery. So they go and collect medicines, they collect food, and they're delivering to our customers because they couldn't get out. And without that adaptation, our customers probably would have struggled.
And they were also doing it in a contactless way, or as safe a way as possible. We obviously introduced the option for customers to pay up front at the point of booking. To avoid any contacts during those difficult times when obviously COVID was quite prolific and was a very big concern for everybody, not least the vulnerable community of Taxicard.
Yeah, and I think looking at that change, it's become a permanent change now, whereby that's now a thing on the scheme. We never had that before, and I think for our customers, sometimes they may not always be able to get out and about because they may have a bad day, they don't feel well, their disability is such that they can't move around as much. So, having that flexibility of saying, well, actually, I can use a trip for a driver to go and pick up my shopping, or go to the chemist to get my medication, or for my carer to get in a cab and go and get my stuff for me. I think it kind of broadens the kind of premise of the scheme. And again, in a way, it is that social element where a driver is doing or giving something back to society. And I think, it is that kind of giving back and providing a service to customers who, would struggle. And I think, changing the scheme in just that one little element has made a huge bit of difference to people.
There's been quite a few changes over the years that I can recall. Certainly, I personally, I can think of being able to provide a service, where customers are able to book either by the telephone. We know that 75% of all bookings made on Taxicard are still done through our call centre, but giving customers that have got access to the app or the web booker, the option to do that, has certainly taken up a lot of interest from customers over the years. We've gone from, I would say, probably 1 or 2% booking digitally maybe 5-6 years ago to 15% booking digitally now. That's quite a significant increase when you consider who the customer base is and how difficult it can be for some customers with their mobility impairments to use digital channels. But we've done a lot of work with the accessibility monitoring team at the government digital service to make sure that our digital channels are accessible and our customers are able to access them.
Yeah, and I think, all you just mentioned is really good. And I think another thing for me, for drivers, is that they can, sort of schedule their work. So you've got your feature whereby a driver can schedule their work. They can pick bookings, they know exactly what they're doing on a daily basis, so they don't have that worry of, I wake up in the morning, oh, where am I going, what am I doing? You actually know you might have 5, 6, 7, 10 jobs to do in a day, and you know what you're doing.
Definitely.
You don't have to drive around the streets trying to find street hails. I've got these advanced bookings, I'm going to go and do them, and it's done. And I think that gives our customers some reassurance as well, because they know that cab's coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
They know if they've got to go to a hospital appointment, okay, the scheme shouldn't really be used in that way, but we know it is. But if a driver has picked those jobs and it's a customer who's got to go to a hospital, they know they're going to get there. They know that cab's going to arrive, they're going to get to an appointment, they're going to see their medical person, and they're going to move on. So I think, for me, that's a great advantage of a driver coming on or working on the scheme, is that they can plan their day and know what they're doing. And they don't have that kind of worry of, where's my next job coming from? Very important with the cost of living kind of anxiety going on in society at the moment. I really feel that, a lot of those things that are in place for the service, for benefits of both the customer and the driver, are so important, and I'm really pleased that we've managed to deliver that. Also, I think being able to, make it a lot more straightforward in terms of allowing customers to choose the number of trips they want to use at the point of booking as well, makes it so much easier. They know what they're going to pay at the outset. They know if they're going to use 1 or 2 trips from their allocation, and the drivers aren't required to have to do that swipe partway through the journey anymore, making it a bit more complex. And I think that we've discussed many times over recent months about trying to simplify things for Taxicard, make it as easy for the customer, as easy for the driver, and a service that we're all proud of, and we have been proud of for many years. And I think we're working towards that. And I think the change whereby the customer gets told how much they're going to pay up front, I think that's a massive change. Huge. And I think, with the cost of living, people, they are wary of what they're spending. But if you can ring up, make a booking, know exactly how much it's going to cost, then, there's going to be no additional extra. So you know that when you get in that taxi, this is how much you're paying, and you can afford it. So I think, that element of the scheme to give customers that reassurance is good. And I think it's something that, it's been again, another major change in the scheme that's really benefited our customers, so they know exactly what they're paying, and there's no ambiguity of, well, you know, what's the fee going to be? Is it going to go over the meter? Is it going to be too expensive for me? Am I going to get caught at the end of it?
Yeah.
Because they know once they get in their taxi.
And that means that the actual
done.
experience for both the customer and the driver is a lot better, because there isn't the potential for any kind of dispute, you know, or query at the end of the journey. Everybody knows exactly what the price is going to be at the outset, which is great. I think there's a bit more work to be done. I know that, you know, at London Councils you're working on trying to harmonise things across, you know, the scheme for all boroughs as we speak. But you know, I think there's a way to go on that. But I think the work we've done thus far is really, really excellent.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there is work to be done. But I think for a driver wanting to join the Taxicard scheme and do the work, I think, you know, the benefits are huge.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of feeling of helping people and giving people that kind of independence to get out and about and help.
Yeah.
So I think for any driver thinking of coming on the scheme, I think that is the element that for me would be the most satisfying, in so much as, you know, when that customer gets in that taxi, that you're making a difference.
Absolutely.
To their life.
And that's why, you know, as I said at the outset of our chat here, ComCab London, we're the only cab firm that are contracted to do Taxicard. Long may that continue, but obviously we want as many drivers to come and join us so they can also provide that valuable service to Taxicard customers. Yeah,
and I think, you know, there are a lot of drivers out there who potentially don't know a huge amount about Taxicard scheme and what it does. And you know, and I would say that, you know, the benefits of drivers coming on is really that social element of delivering a service to people who really need it, and otherwise wouldn't be able to get out and about, and they would be potentially housebound.
Yep, totally agree. Thanks very much for your time today.
Thanks, Alan.
I really
You're
appreciate it. Great catching up with you.
Yeah, and you. Thank you.